looking too good for us at this point, except we do have a Riven gank at this point. So, he's coming in. And we're all just basically banging on each other hard. Caitlyn's trying to take down Vayne. Vayne is trying to hide. She actually does hide in the bushes. And Nami is going to escape from me because she's a little too fast for me at this level. Every time she uses a spell, she gets really fast. And Janna's natural speed just isn't enough to keep up with that. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Lux and Riven are both chasing down Caitlyn. And Lux ends up getting the kill. So, you'd think we'd be doing great. We're 4-0, the Rengar got a late start, although we didn't really know that. I had at the time I had just figured he was farming hard till level 6. But unfortunately our Riven is just doing all this nutty stuff with her gold, which is too bad. Cho'Gath's going ham here on our Lux, forces the flash out. Riven's doing some damage back. Gets his flash. There's the ultimate. And Riven uses her ult, and that's a third death for Cho'Gath. So 5-0 for us. And we're behind on bottom lane, we're behind in farm 49-28 due to that Caitlyn range. It's really tough to get a Vayne going when she takes early harass like this and gets the lane late and all that stuff. I mean, if you want to be a Vayne, unfortunately a late connect is a bad thing. Vayne surprises Nami by being in the bush. She's tracing her. I was trying to go around the other side, but Caitlyn kind of cuts me off at the pass. I managed to knock up the Nami, but it doesn't really amount to much. I avoid the Q just barely, and I'm happy about it apparently. And we're just gonna get this yet another wave pushed right under our turret on us. But this time at least we've got mana and a relatively decent amount of health. Now Riven's trying to chase down the Rengar. Rengar is low, but he does manage to escape using his turrets. And Vayne takes a lot of harass and to do very little damage in return, so that's pretty bad. Caitlyn has a BF sword, and my Vayne just has Vampiric Scepter, so yeah, you can bet that unless she does a lot of farming, she's going to be losing out because of all these trades. So that's not so good. Meanwhile, unfortunately, Singed was killed in the top lane, and Italy got that kill. Alright, so I managed to knock him out. Vayne rather has gone back to buy. I'm doing what I can to get farm and get experience. I can't get all these, just the numbers are wrong, basically. No matter what I've done, those are gone. So I just get the experience for those. I push it out as fast as I can. I figured the Vayne would be heading back, but she's really slow on the buy, fortunately. And so I'm now buying. And I think... what did I get this time? Yeah, I got the first part of my Sightstone. I got a Chalice. So I want to get the Sightstone, don't have enough for it. So I figure since we're being pushed under turrets so often, I'll just have to, you know, use my trinket and call it good at this point. I am planning on, you know, putting out wards and stuff later on, but I just don't have the gold. And so I just get the first half of the Sightstone. You can see even without the red team here, we're still being pushed under turret, because Vayne really has no wave clear to speak of. I'm just using a little shielding here. I'm doing a couple of auto attacks just to make the wave clearing going a tiny bit faster, because I'm getting a little you know, nervous that we're just taking too long to do this. Now I'm looking to hopefully get some harass down on Caitlyn. Maybe with a nice little tornado that I'm going to throw out here. And I just force him to the side, but nothing really happens. I'm currently trying to figure out if I should put my ward in the upper bush by his side. Nope, we're definitely getting pushed out. Let's put it in the lower bush and call it good. Vayne does a nice condemn, but she doesn't follow up with any damage, and I do my best to follow up, but I was a little slow on the draw myself, so not so great for us. Vayne takes some extra harass from Caitlyn, so this is just a really rough lane. I don't know why Riven decided to come down this way. She should have come down from behind all along, and now she does come down from behind. Comes in with her ultimate up. Vayne gets the kill on Caitlyn. Now we're chasing down the Nami. I push her back, make sure that she doesn't escape, because I know how fast she is. I lost her before, so I knock her back. And there we go. We're now 7-2. However, because of troubles with farm in the bot lane and so on, we're only up by about just over 1,000 gold. And this is unfortunately when Rengar starts to go ham. He's pretty well caught up. Almost caught up in levels. He's got his Wriggle's Lantern heading towards that Feral Flare. Riven has got her jungle item as well. We do manage to get a kill back on Cho'Gath, but he's 1-4-0, so that doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. I'm gonna go back. I see that no one's in our bottom lane, and I have some gold from the assists and so on, and I want to get my sight stone at the very least, and I get some other stuff as well, I believe. Let's see. I think I also turned in my trinket after messing up and leaving briefly and then coming back. Yep. And I realize it, and I go back and get the red trinket. So, yeah, I basically just had enough to fill up on a couple more biscuits, and I got my sight stone, so not a whole lot of gain there. Meanwhile, Riven's trying to push this, put the pressure on this Nami, who's guarding the middle turret. And Lux is looking to put some damage on the turret as well. Cho'Gath is there. Nami's nearby. Riven is now being hurt by this Rengar, especially with the help of the Nami. She does... Oop, manages to avoid the Lux shield, unfortunately. She's getting trapped again. I don't know why she goes that way. She should have gone back up the river. Her back up the river was her only chance of escape. She gets shut down, and that's all she wrote there. Meanwhile, Golden Streak is doing okay on Singed. 110, 72. He's kept up in farm, and doing alright. I think maybe he should be putting down more poison and pushing this under turret more often for Nidalee. He's looking to get some harass off her. He does throw her almost into the blue, not quite. In the bottom lane now, we are pushing under turret for once. I'm using my shield to clear out the traps, and we do manage to get enough harass on Caitlyn that we push her back, make her go back to her. And let's see. Sorry about that. Singed gets caught by Rengar, but Singed gets a kill on Rengar as well. And bottom lane's been gone long enough that we're starting to ping it out. But around that time, Nami comes back, and Caitlyn will be back very soon as well. Unfortunately, Vayne is heading back, I guess, because she was low on mana? I don't know. I guess. And so I'm just kind of backing off now. I see no profit in staying up there when there's no experience to be had and so on. Now, unfortunately, the turret is already dead, but I'm playing as though it's still alive. You know, I mean, I try to push her as though it was going under the turret, you'd think, or something, but really I was just hoping to get her out of the way. I was just pushed way too up. I was basically treating it as though the turret was still there and I had all the protection in the world, and of course I did not, so basically give them a free kill. So there you go, there's some bronze plays by me. And that's why I'm trying to work my way out of, by not making mistakes like that. Riven's doing a pretty good job, but she's gonna get caught out here. Gets another shield though from Lux, and a shield from her own abilities. Nice job by Lux to get down her Q. And Lux in fact gets a kill on Caitlyn. Nami's trying to put the kill back on Riven. I'm there now to help out if need be. And we are kind of pushing them out of our jungle, especially with the help of Vayne. We're kind of looking around for them, making sure they don't come back on us. I'm using the Sightstone to get some vision out there. Yeah, I was hoping to clear out, and I mean, they've been through that bush a million times, and yet none of them have warded it up, so... Nothing gained from that. We're trying to put a little more damage on the turret, just like always. And right now we're just playing the middle lane game. That was me pinging on the bottom lane. I see there's a nice juicy wave down there. Now I see the Rengar thing going on. I'm getting in the way to. I'm preparing to. I would have ulted if I could have, but instead I was just body blocking to see whatever skill shots I could body block for Riven's or Lux so she doesn't go down. He escapes on a sliver of health. And Nidalee's asking for help from the Singed. And Singed is, I don't know, not really being as aggressive as I thought he was being up there. You'd think he'd be putting down, poison, just constantly shoving it under her tower. But he doesn't seem to be the case. Maybe he was taking too much harass from the spears and so on. I guess he's just, I don't know. He pops those on purpose. And meanwhile, in the bottom lane, let's see, I was unable to save our Lux, it looks like. Or our Riven, rather. There, Riven goes in ham against a character with almost full health and a character with half health when she was on low health, so that's what happens. Lux is doing what damage she can, as is Vayne, getting them low. But with the bubble, that pretty much pops her out of there. I'm a little low, and Vayne is quite low. However, Lux manages to get the kill on Cho'Gath, so she's doing her work. And we're trying to do some more damage to the middle turret. Our bottom turret is simply having the waves now push in on it. The ones I pinged about, no one bothered to go and help, so Riven's kind of heading that way, but the wave is gone. The damage has been done. In fact, I think if we check... Yeah, not too much damage yet, but... I think we've fortunately got a wave down there just in time. And I'm back at the base, working my way. I'm actually working towards an Athene's. They don't have a ton of CC that can be cleansed, really. I mean, I guess there's the silence from Cho'Gath. There's a couple things, but basically I just felt like just having straight up cooldown reduction would be better for me in this case, so I was just going for an Athene's. And I'm just seeing what's going on here with all this. Everyone's just kind of moving in and out of the river and jumping over the walls, and yet it's not really turning into a real fight, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. So people are getting low. I'm trying to shield as often as I can. We've got several shields on our team. Whew. And the Rengar goes in invisible. He gets the double kill. Lots of damage going down. I get stunned. That's not good for me. I get silenced, but now at least I'm on the move. I'm taking yet more damage. Fortunately, I missed I avoid the slow from Rengar, or else that would have been bad. Riven manages to kill Rengar, but red team has got our turret. I'm getting really low, and I'm pretty much... Whew, that was so close. And Vayne is getting low too. I shield her, and I am out of there. The Riven is heading back out. Looks like Sin's just doing his work. Doing his best to keep the waves out, keep the red team on their toes, which he is doing. Lux tries to ult snipe, but it doesn't quite work. And Riven's acting as though she's not squishy, but of course she is. She's building absolutely no tankiness at all. And so she's, gone down a few times because of it. A lot of damage on both teams and not a ton of tankiness. Singed is really the only one doing any sort of tankiness at all. So I'm glad to have him on our side. That's, of course, my son, so I'm always happy to have him around no matter what. So, I asked him about that glue there, and I said it doesn't do any damage, so, you know, it wouldn't have, I don't think it would have stopped his back. He said, yeah, he was just hoping that he would see the glue land and it would, and of course, you know, it'd cause him to move. But, no such luck. Yeah, we're doing a little bit more damage on the turret. It's almost ready to go down. It does go down. Nice little shot there. Lux is trying to do the damage. There goes a flip. But, unfortunately, the ultimate from Cho'Gath is able to kill even a Singed when he's on that low of health. And we both block the ult on behalf of Riven. Riven is really low. I don't know why she's looking to back right there. There we go. And now Lux and I are going to try to wave clear this best we can. As a support, I don't have the best damage to do that, but at least I can knock up enemies and stuff, so on. And Cho'Gath doing a little sniping from the side there with his knock-up ability. And now they've gotten a just... Unfortunately, we weren't quite able to kill the minions. They are all low health, so they were able to get quite a bit of harass down on our turret. And we're now pushing our red team back a bit. Basically, it's just a question of the fact that even with Nami there, they are taking more harass than they can sustain up. And a lot of damage going down on Cho'Gath, and eventually Singed does get him. The chase continues, now under their turret, and Singed gets another kill, this one on Caitlyn. Lux is nice enough to give me a shield. I believe I had just used mine, so I didn't have it available again. Italy's doing her damage with her spears. Fortunately, some of the sting has been taken out of her spears, and it's not quite as bad as it used to be. She is, however, building AP in Italy, so the spears do decent damage, and she also has a pretty strong heal. And now everyone's kind of backing off. There's some pinging on the dragon going on. Like, Riven's going after the dragon. And Singed is there too to poison and draw the aggro as well. Doing a good job, I think. Well, he's actually more or less just running circles and taking every hit from the... Now, here comes the bad guys. But Riven does get the dragon. There goes the flip. And Singed goes down. Riven, third hop, doesn't go over the wall. And she goes down as well. Now Vayne is being chased. And she's actually doubles back out using the brush. Pretty clever. And uses the knockback, but here comes the Rengar, and that's all she wrote. So now it's 16 to 14. They've basically all caught up. Whatever, you know, weirdness we had in the beginning of the game with Vayne starting a little late and Rengar starting very late, no longer matters. It's all caught up now. Yet more fighting in the mid lane. No one actually goes down, but they are looking again to siege up. And let's see. Caitlyn's going up to do a little bit of split pushing. Meanwhile, the siege continues in the middle lane. Riven does a good job of taking down Rengar, because I don't believe he was expecting her at that point. Singed is gonna push now in the middle lane. There's a couple of red team members there. He throws down the glue. Is he gonna be able to flip her? And Vayne does take out Nami as well. Yep, he's chasing her down. She goes into the brush. I'm coming at this point. Lux is coming. There's the flip. There's the poison. I'm just trying to get a shield down on Singed so I can at least get a an assist if he manages to kill her. There goes his ultimate. He manages to catch up and kill her, and I do get an assist for that. Alright. So now it's our turn to siege down the middle lane. And we got a little bit of split pushing going with Vayne, so obviously I have noticed this, and I'm trying to make sure that we stay careful. I'm protecting everyone as best I can. I see the exclamation points. I'm waiting for the Rengar attack. There it is, and you can see my ultimate goes out as soon as I see him jump. Still, a lot of us are low. We can take a lot of harass. And Vayne does get the bottom lane turret finally, so that works out pretty well. We've also got a wave pushing towards their side on the top lane. Some of us are going back in, but Riven is really low. I'm putting up big shields as best I can. Does save her. Lux takes out Caitlyn. Rengar gets chased after. I actually flashed for it. I don't know why. And in fact, the turn kills me and Singe. So there you go. That was a really poor decision on my part to go that deep under turret and so on and so forth. Nidalee chase in. Fortunately for us, she misses the Q. I think that would have been the end of Riven. Lux is in danger too. Riven goes back in for no good reason and gets wiped. However, Vayne kills Nidalee pretty darn well. She basically just caught her out of position. And Lux is looking like should probably head back. Meanwhile, I've bought swiftness boots. I want to be the fastest Janna around. I've got 40% cooldown already between my Frost Queen's claim, or what will be a Frost Queen's claim, and the Athene's. Between all that, I'll have my 40%. So I don't need cooldown boots. I don't need any of the cooldown items. So I just go ahead and get swiftness boots. I would have gone for one of the defensive boots, but frankly it's kind of a split between magic and physical damage on their team. And I just decided that the speed would help me get around the map better and help out different places. Now I start using my slow to let us chase this Caitlyn a little better. Trying to use my tornado. At least I forced the flash. So that's something. And now, there comes the Rengar. I put out my ult again. You can see that becomes a theme for me in this match. A couple of us, I go down to Nidalee, Vayne however kills the Cho'Gath, and Lux gets the Rengar. So, overall, it's not 24-18, still more fighting to be done. This is a very bloody match. And in fact, Vayne gets Nidalee. It's 25-18, we're ahead, but you can see only by a couple thousand gold, just because of the farm differentials. And, yeah, so it's a little unfortunate that we're not doing better than we really are, given the amount of kills we've been able to get to this point. Because around here is where things get muddy. We're trying to siege, but we don't have a really good siege comp. Vayne's doing some damage to the turret. Singe is there trying to soak up damage. Lux is trying to push things off as best she can. But really, we're able to get poked down pretty hard by Caitlyn and by Nidalee. And, of course, Cho'Gath has some pretty long-range abilities as well. Basically, it's a pretty tough anti-siege comp they've got going now that looking back on it. Nice thing about Singe is that just by using his poison trail, he can kind of convince people not to chase him. And you can see Lux is backing. Vayne is trying to set up for like a little sniping session. Riven is doing her usual, going in hard and then coming out fast. He actually sees the Nidalee because we do have a ward in there. Rengar's there, however. He's putting lots of damage down. I'm doing my best. Use my ultimate to once again get rid of the Rengar. We're doing as best we can to get him down, but he goes down to the Rengar, and Rengar's going after me now. And I managed to use my tornado to knock him up and get some speed. And fortunately, it looks like just enough for me to get out of there. However, I'm coming back. Is that going to be my death? I can't remember at this point. Cho'Gath gets Vayne, who is caught out. And it looks like Singe is going to have some trouble here too. But of course, it's not that easy to kill him. Looks like he is going to get out of there okay in this case, although he's kind of staying. I can't remember if he gets killed here either. Oh, there he goes. He throws Rengar, he puts on his poison, but can't hack all the damage. Rengar does get him. There you go. Now I've backed. I'm now working on... I've now got the Frost Queen's claim, so I've got full 40% cooldown reduction. In fact, now that I think about it, that's actually 10% over, because... So I would have had 40% already, because I do run some masteries and runes. So I'll have to consider that in the future. Instead of going for Athene's, maybe go for Mikael's. But I do like having the extra, the extra cooldown reduction early, and I also like having lots and lots of mana regen. Still, Mikael's is not bad either, and it would have saved us from certain types of CC. Alright, so yet another fight in the mid lane. Caitlyn is up doing a bit of split farming. There goes the Lux ult. I use my ultimate because I see that bad things are happening. Red team decides to disengage. We're starting to follow. I have blocked the Caitlyn ult. Rengar's coming in. And I had used my ult already, so I was not able to help against the Rengar that time. 3 of us go down for none of them. It's now 26 to 24. It's getting very close. Unfortunately, we do shut down Rengar, but it's looking pretty bad overall. The gold is basically all even. And, we were way ahead in kills, just weren't able to turn it into other advantages fast enough. We are ahead in turrets. That's the one grace of this so far. You can see that because of their range, and now that they're hitting some power points, that some of these team fights are now going against us, and it's not necessarily getting pretty. Singed was being chased by a couple of purple team members there. In fact, he still is, but the poison is kind of convincing him to back off. Alright. Riven's going in hard, as she does all game, regardless of whether it's a good idea or not. I get knocked up and almost get killed by the Caitlyn ult. I had just enough tankiness to survive that. I was running mostly defensive masteries, and that's probably the only thing that saved me there. And Vayne goes down after Cho'Gath went down on their side. And Singed does get Caitlyn. He's awfully low going against this Nami. But Nami, of course, doesn't do as much damage as he does. However, here comes the Rengar, and he's forced to get out of there. He's just going to keep running. I don't even see the Rengar anymore, and I believe he stops. Just to make sure he throws a glue pile in the brush and keeps on going.
Purple team has slain the dragon.
And Purple team took the dragon at this point. So, we'd actually gotten most of the dragons before then, but they did have a timer on that last one. You remember they came in and wiped out our team at the end of that fight. So they did know when the dragon was going to be coming back up, and they do take it this time. I'm just trying to keep this whole mob scene from getting to our turret and get as much of the farm as I can. Riven ends up taking most of it, but whatever. So it's now 30 to 27 in kills. 52 to 51k. They're actually ahead by 1,000 gold, and it's now 4 towers to 3. Nidalee pushing back the wave on the bottom lane that was pushing right up towards their turret. We've got a nice wave movement up top, but it's not nowhere near their inner turret yet. In the mid lane, we've got yet another fight going down. And let's see. Like, now I do. You notice that I'm not too worried about. Well, once you have Frost Queen's Claim, you can't lose. You don't lose the ability to use your stacks. But even before that, I was using my Tornado a lot. I just felt that I needed to in this game. Okay, now you see we're trying to get under turret again. I see the Rengar exclamation point. I am watching for him, and I'm using my full ult that time, including all the heal. However, Rengar is able to get a double kill. Not looking good for us here. Here comes a Caitlyn as well. Vayne goes down. I'm not able to save everyone, unfortunately. And it's just too bad. See, Singed is now being chased down. But Singe, you know, is pretty hard to kill. In fact, he's kind of chasing down the Nidalee. She runs back the other way. I don't know, he's going back in. He must know that there's tons of bad guys over there, but he's going anyway. And they're sure wanting his blood now. I don't know why he stopped, but he's in trouble. And yeah, he does get shut down by Nidalee. Meanwhile, there's a huge wave that's about to push in on our inhibitor turret. I managed to push it out without much damage being done to our turret. Get a bit of farm, not too much. I'm 0-3 and 15, not too bad. I mean, that's kind of what you expect as a support. I'm pretty happy, especially Janna, who she does very little damage. She can get lots of assists with her shields and by doing a few knockups and so on. But not a whole lot of kill potential. And Riven's looking to go in yet again. This Riven, I swear, does not know the meaning of finding the right battle. It's just going in every time. And, you know, sometimes it works. Like that time, it worked. But she's 8, 9, and 8 at this point, so it's not like it works every time. And unfortunately, Vayne, yet again, goes down to the Caitlyn, so... Vayne's 9, 7, and 7, not too bad. Caitlyn's actually 6, 7, and 6, so Vayne's in fact doing better. But Rengar gets our Riven. And yet again, the chase is going back down mid lane. Lux putting tons of damage with her ult on Caitlyn. Here comes the Rengar. I push him back yet again with my ult. Can you tell this is a theme? I mean, this is sort of the main thing I'm doing in this game. Is just watching for that Rengar engage. And then knocking him back. Unfortunately, we got split up and Lux ends up getting killed by Rengar. I stayed in the middle lane. And with Singed, who is now moved off on his own. I'm still trying to push back these waves. You can see the tornado, auto attacks. I'm using everything I can. The turret's on a sliver of health. Singed is in trouble again. He's being chased, but you know, that's what you do when you're Singed. He manages to barely avoid that bubble, and Vayne plus Singed is able to turn it, and they get both Rengar and Nami down. Now, Rengar's got 19 stacks on his trinket, so pretty impressive. He's 15, 7, and 4. He's kind of a beast. Got lots of good stuff going on here. How many stacks does he have? He has 29 stacks on his Feral Flare, so... Oh wait, or does that mean... Or is that the 29 that comes when it, when it's just about to be... When it just becomes a Feral Flare? I guess we'll find out in a minute. Let's see. We'll have to watch. Well, he's dead now, so we'll have to wait until he comes back up. Maybe he got a late start, so I'll bet you that's actually just the 29th stack, and it just became a Feral Flare, and it'll start at 1 when he gets something next time. All right. So we're re-engaging on the Cho'Gath, but unfortunately Singed was too low, and he gets ulted by Cho'Gath, and we do manage to kill Cho'Gath in turn, but that's a 1-for-1. It's now 36-35 in favor of the enemy team. They are ahead by quite a bit of gold. And here comes a big jump yet again. Janna ult, forcing the Rengar out, giving the heals as best I can. We're trying to get out of there. Riven's super low, but she's further ahead of us. Lux is doing her best to zone him out. I don't know why Riven's staying that close. That's a bad idea. Lux thinks the same thing, so she puts out a shield. We're all just shielding. Our turret was taken down. And with several of us low, including the Riven, who I guess she's trying to lifesteal her way back up, but oof, rough way to do it. Right there near mid lane where we're having all this trouble. I'm right behind the turret, and I'm just hoping that nothing too bad will go on before I get back from buying and healing up. And I believe I get home guards at this point. Yes, there they go. And I decide that's about it. And I'm gonna get out of there. Come on, there we go. Oh, alright, I also got Aegis of the Legion. Meanwhile, Vayne's chasing down, kills the Nami, but Caitlyn turns it on the Vayne. Riven in turn takes Caitlyn's life, and we're all sort of chasing down Nidalee. I'm taking up the rear. And there's really no minions too close nearby. Here comes the Rengar ult. Yet again, I used my ult, but this time, you can see it just wasn't enough. Unfortunately, Rengar was already basically at the edge of my ultimate, and so he didn't get really pushed very far. He was able to still do the damage. So Vayne goes down, Lux is down, or Lux goes down in that fight. Vayne was already down. We managed to kill Nidalee, and then we're gonna having to back out of there. So this has already turned into a long game, 42 minutes. As a support, I'm level 17. That should tell you something right there. Trying to see, Vayne is actually level 16. Lux is level 16. I don't know how I got to level 17 before those people. I mean, as a support, I really shouldn't. I guess I've just been in the action too much. Also, I'm 03 and 19. I have the fewest deaths in the game, and I'm the fewest deaths on my team by far. I was hoping to push in this under the turret. I knew it was a little dangerous, but I was watching out for opponents, and so I see Nami coming, and I go in to help out Singed, put down the tornado. I was there ready with shields and my W, whatever else if need be, and we're just gonna back out of there. Vayne takes the dragon out solo. Good job by her. Let me look at this Rengar. 32 stacks. Nope, that was a genuine 29 stacker before, so he's now up to 32 stacks. That's a lot of stacks, and so he's actually doing a pretty good job farming. He's got 145 farm. I mean, at 43 minutes, maybe that's not superior, but that's certainly good enough in this game. And he does do a lot of damage, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. And we did not know it. Unfortunately, I'd gone back to buy and blah 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 blah. So they get the Baron buff. We don't even realize it until we see them with the Baron buff. In fact, my son is the one who calls it out to me. He says, "Hey, they've got the Baron buff on them." You can see he's up there in the jungle. We do a little bit of chasing. This is not, however, the best idea. There comes the Rengar. There's a big fight going down. Meanwhile, I use my ult, but then I get knocked up. Doesn't really help. I go down. Singed goes down. Lux is going to try to help. But Nidalee gets the Riven, and that's 3 of us down for nothing. Plus they've got Baron buff. It's looking really bad for us now. Holy cow. Nidalee's going in. They're actually just tanking down the turret. Fortunately, they're not too tanky yet. And they are pushed out, but our turret is almost dead. Oh, how did that miss? Oh no, I guess it did hit at least the Rengar. He must have used his healing ability right around the same time, because it didn't look like it did much to him at all. Alright. And, yep. We've lost 2 turrets, including the one here in the mid, which I was pinging on. But unfortunately no one was able to come and help. And unfortunately that was just enough to kill our Vayne. We were briefly aced. I'm now back up. I'm doing my best to protect the turrets. Don't think to shield the turret, because I was just hoping to shield myself. Maybe I should have shielded the turret, I don't know. But now that our team is coming back up, red team should be backing out, and they were a little slow on it. Nami takes a lot of damage, but none of them go down, so really a good job by them. Singed is chasing a couple of them down.